So yeah, let's start the show, man. What's doing?
What, with the show? Well, what were you guys talking about?
Nothing. We were just video games.
We were just shooting the shit, waiting for you.
Shut up, Joel, and welcome to the Weekly Poll.
Yeah. He got it out of the way so the show can properly begin, everyone. If I didn't do that, we would have just sat here in silence for an hour.
Yeah. I never said
I did it for you. I jumped on that grenade for all of you.
Thank you.
He jumped on the grenade for it. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate that, Joel. Welcome to the Weekly Poll, everyone. This is the weekly show right here on the Twitch Eligible Monster channel, where some of the greatest and best minds in comic book YouTube history get together to discuss our opinions on pop culture, comic books, and movies. Normally, we have Rob with us from Comics Explained, but this week it's going to be me, Benny from Comicstorian, Sal from the amazing Comic Pop, and Joel from the one and only Caped Joel.
Damn right.
Yeah.
I got no jokes for you. That's fine. I love you, Joel.
One and only.
Joel, I love you. We're buddies.
Aw, sweet. So what's up with you?
Yeah.
No, then I had to go see the doctor about my blood pressure. He's like, I don't understand it. We've given you 3 different pills to fix your blood pressure, and none of them are working. And I'm like, I told you. I've had high blood pressure since I was in the military. It's a 15-year problem that you were trying to solve.
It's like working online is stressful or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to get my blood pressure taken for all the same reasons. I'm like, I bet it's high.
Yeah. No, it's definitively high. There's no way to get around that. But yeah, no, so this episode is going to be more of a kind of a BS-y one about various things that have been announced. And we're hoping that it'll lead into, we'll probably talk a little bit about Deadpool. This will be sort of a spoiler cast, guys. But, I mean, and you guys, everyone in the chat and everyone on the video can vouch on this one. There's not really that much to spoil in Deadpool.
No.
Right. It's just telling you what happened in the movie, and we're not going to do that.
Right. Like, it's kind of okay, anybody who saw the original Justice League, like, the big spoiler is Deadpool wins. I mean, like, what? That's it?
Yeah.
Like, there's no big problematic thing. There's no big surprises. The cameos are fun. We can talk about that with the biggest one, because I know how they got that, because you would be like, how the hell did they get that? You know?
There's not even a big shout out that you might think, like at the end of the first Deadpool, where they're like, oh, come back next time when we're doing Cable. They didn't even do that, because chances are they probably didn't even know if they're coming back for a third one.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they have a third one already in the works.
Oh, I'm sure they do, but
It's not Deadpool. It's X-Force. They're doing X-Force in the next.
Well, as we're going to discuss here, I feel like they actually incorporated a lot of what was in X-Force to this, like they didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, what I'm getting at is, if you want to go into Deadpool 2 completely blind, we will give you the warning when we go into that topic.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's not much to truly spoil.
No.
So I wouldn't be overly concerned. We are going to discuss it, though. I, for one, I liked it better than Avengers. But we'll talk about that soon.
Interesting.
Wow.
What do you mean? Why, dude, okay. Let's just start with that, I guess, and not go into anything but this.
Sure, why not?
First big news piece. Deadpool 2 beat Avengers.
Yeah.
Did it? I
Yeah,
thought it underperformed.
opening weekend.
Oh, shit, for real?
If it underperformed, what the hell were they expecting?
I don't know, man. That's pretty good for an R-rated movie released at this time of year, but then again, it really didn't have any competition.
Yeah.
Avengers! Its
Well,
competition was Avengers!
Well, after $2 billion that it made at the box office, I think everyone who was going to see it has seen it.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was smart of them. Apparently, Avengers moved their release date because they were worried about Deadpool. I was like, really? Apparently, they were right to do it.
Yeah, seriously.
But that could have also been, well, yeah. It could have been, like, if we want to, like, justify it, it could have been that because everybody saw Avengers already, people were hungry for a new one. It was maybe the hype from having, like, Avengers be so good made people want to see this more. The reality is, more people were interested in having a laugh and seeing something fun and gory, hopefully.
Yeah.
Than
Hold on, let me clarify something, because everyone's... So they're like, oh, you beat Avengers the third weekend. No, the opening weekend for Deadpool 2 beat the opening weekend for Avengers Infinity War.
Straight up.
That doesn't mean Deadpool 2 is going to pull down $2 billion, but on the initial weekend, it beat it.
Yeah, we
Interesting.
all thought that that Avengers was going to have like the highest grossing weekend of all time, and
Yes.
Deadpool beat it. Like that's a feat.
And there's some markets that Deadpool isn't even going to open up in.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. Where?
Yes, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and China.
Yeah.
Oh, is it because he's red?
I mean, I wish. No, it's for other content things. It's because there's LGBT characters in it. That's why.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about that next thing.
what's that?
I read an article today which pissed me the fuck off about that shit.
Oh, I saw this headline too.
The one where it was like Deadpool's representation of LGBTQ, which apparently now we have 5 initials instead of 2. I don't know. I don't follow that whole thing.
Q
but
is
apparently we do. The representation was good, but it's still problematic.
Yeah, I read that same headline. So it's like,
Did you read the article though?
I read the headline. I'm like, that's just bad headline writing. That's just bad journalism in general. Don't make a point, then undercut your own point in your headline.
It's not even that. Here's the argument that they had with it. Hold on, make sure I kill any echo that might be happening right now.
Cool.
Okay, so the argument, which is what irritated me, because I was like, oh, well, like I thought they did a good job with Yukio and Negasonic.
Yeah.
They treated them like normal people. They didn't like draw attention to it.
Yep.
It was just, hey, there's a lesbian couple in the movie. They're cute. It'll be cool.
Which is how it should be, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the article decided to open up by stating that representation was great. They acted like normal people, like they should. But they feel that since this is the first big blockbuster movie, more attention should have been drawn to the lesbian relationship of Yukio and Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
That's just they wanted clicks. That's bullshit.
But here's what I found. Here's what irritated me about that, because I'm like, I guarantee you, if there was a scene in that movie where they were like Deadpool cracked a joke, hey, look, we had the first lesbian couple in a superhero movie.
Right.
They would have then been like, well, no, they're normal people. There should have been no special attention drawn to it.
Absolutely. The whole thing is just it's creating drama where there isn't any. Like, the best thing that happened about that movie was the fact that it happened and it was there. And actually,
no one made a big deal about it.
They did draw attention to it because Negasonic makes a joke about, or not a joke, but like the joke within that is her being like, what, you got a problem? Like, do you have a problem with this, with seeing this? And he's like, no, you big pain in my ass.
Yeah, exactly. I loved his comment.
My favorite.
I don't.
Pump the hate brakes. Pump the hate brakes, Fox and Friends, which was probably my favorite quote.
Yeah. No.
I'm gonna start saying that every day now.
So yeah, I mean, do we just want to dive into Deadpool or talk about some other things like the August solicits, where we're getting Super Sons back and Supergirl is now uncanceled?
Yes.
Yeah. Is
She
Bendis
sure is.
taking over Supergirl? I didn't read.
No, it's Mark Andreyko.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's not Bendis.
Oh wow. Because I heard Bendis
Mark
wants to
frickin'
do
Andreyko.
a lot of stuff with Supergirl, so I figured he was going to take that book because he can write 12 books at once.
It does look to be rereferencing it because she's got Rogol Zar's big axe, and we see him in the background of one of the issues.
She's got like a new costume, which I'm excited about, because now she's going away from. Because I love the new 52 costume because it looked more like a feminine Supergirl costume as opposed to it's Superman in a skirt.
Yeah,
and then they went right back to it's Superman in a skirt
because we wanted to do the TV show. This very much looks like a departure from the last couple Supergirl stories, where it's like we're just doing the TV show.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So the solicits for August, it pretty much confirms Super Sons is back as a 12-issue miniseries.
Which is so weird. Why did you get rid of it if you're only going to bring it back as a 12-issue mini? Why didn't you just keep going with these 12 issues?
I want that, Joel. I'm tired of comic books that give me junk filler arcs. And they like, oh, would you have preferred them ending in here and then taking 2 months off? Or would you prefer them to give you a junk filler 2-issue arc that you end up wasting your money on and you don't need to buy?
I mean, there's been very little junk in Super Sons. It's all been pretty solid. Even the stuff that was 2-issue filler was pretty good.
Right, so would you rather them then go to a junk arc because he couldn't think of anything good and they had to put a filler in?
I feel too many new number ones. I feel like they did this just because they wanted a new number one for the whole creative refresh thing they're doing.
I would hope not, but I'm down for. I like it only.
I don't think that's the case. I don't because like Marvel. I'm not trying to interrupt you, Sal. I'm trying to just because I really. Marvel's doing new number ones literally the month after they end the book. Mm-hmm. Venom get to 13, we started at 1. And I was just doing the solicits for tomorrow for our Comics Tonight show, and they have another new number one. Doctor Strange, I think it is.
Oh, really?
Is it No, it's Black Panther. Black Panther is now restarting again. And it's like, why? You're not even taking a month off. Yeah. It's the same team.
That's a mistake.
Fresh start.
So, I mean, even 2 months off, in my opinion, is good if we're going to come back with a hell of a fucking, we're back with a bang.
Yeah, I mean, I like it as long as Super Sons can keep coming back when they have something good to tell us. You know, like, I don't want to be like, well, we got this 12-issue maxi, and then we're going to never do it again. Or, you know, we're gonna try to fold them into a team, and then that team will die because nobody cares about those kinds of teams. Who knows? I don't know.
And
I'm excited though because I like Super Sons, but I will admit that there were times when I was like, ugh, I did not want to read this. Like, that was not fun. There were
Super Sons?
moments in Super Sons where I was like, this is not fun.
There was one arc that I did not like at all, and I felt that they were just spinning their wheels again.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but it was...
Was it the one before Kid Amazo? What happened right before Kid Amazo?
Talia al Ghul,
Yes.
Mother.
No, that one wasn't bad. What was right before that one?
Planet of the Capes.
I didn't like
Capes
Planet of
felt
the
a
Capes
little
that much.
fillery.
Yeah.
It was very fillery.
Because it also felt like 3 different stories condensed down into one.
Yeah.
Like him joining the Teen Titans and then them going into the other world. It was
Now that said, it was a fun story. Like, fine.
Mm-hmm.
I had no complaints about it. It was just kind of like, but it wasn't up to the same level.
right, exactly. It wasn't on the same level, same tier. I mean, that's how I feel about some of the storylines in like Batman. Tom King's doing great, but then you get that weird, just like, what were you thinking? You know, like
Well, he's like, yeah, I want to get to 100. I have to do another couple of issues about this, where I'm doing this thing.
I want to get to the wedding, and I need to kill time before I get to the wedding.
Just like he's every time he's like, okay, I want to do I Am Bane, but I got to kill time until we get there, so I got to do all these other bullshit arcs about nothing. Like, cool.
Which sounds like a first-timer mistake, and this hit me before. I'm like, wait, he's only written like 2 runs before this, and they've only been like 12 issues. In many ways, he is a new writer.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and they gave him a AAA book. Good idea.
Yep.
okay, we've also got 3 Justice League books going. Can I just say, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm happy about this.
Yeah.
Justice League Dark, Justice League Odyssey, and Justice League. I've always said, like, the Justice League should be an amazing story that's like the pinnacle of the DC universe.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we only ever have like one and then like a subpart secondary book, and neither of them are good stories?
That's the worst. Is like Justice League should all. There's a few books that both of the big two should always be like, never dip below this line.
Yeah, they should always have their best writers, their best artists. It should never be an experimental book. It should be a flagship book.
Yes, it should always be like if our amazing if Jorge Jimenez can't draw Justice League, then we get whoever else wants to do it. That's awesome. Then we get Alex Maleev or somebody really dope to do this arc. You know, we get Manipul to do it. You know, we get somebody on the same level. The next person we would have called to do it regularly. You know, but like. I'm fine with that. I'm happy with them doing this with Justice League because, like, yeah, Justice League should be a AAA book. Justice League Odyssey is a neat idea that I don't expect to last very long, and Justice League Dark is a fan favorite that, like, you know,
Keeps coming back.
It keeps coming back, and it satisfies a niche that is woefully underutilized. We don't get a lot of magic stuff in the DC.
No, you really don't. And Tynion seems super, like, interested in it, and he seems super positive about it, and coming off Detective Comics, it's like, okay, so this dude has some team writing chops, all right.
Bingo. Dude can write a team. Like,
I mean, after what he did with Detective Comics, I've never been so invested in a Batman and the Outsiders book than ever before.
That's true. I've never wanted to read a Batman and the Outsiders book until now.
But you'll read Detective Comics with Batman and the Outsiders in it.
Bingo.
I like how happily you're calling them the Outsiders, even though they're like, no, we're the Knights, we're the Bat family. You're kind of the Outsiders.
No, it's the goddamn Outsiders.
It can't be Outsiders. Black Lightning isn't on it.
The only person on that team that can support a book, like that truly was on the team, is Tim. Because even Batwoman, she was on the team, but she really wasn't. She had her own book like 10 issues in. Like she had her own
book, but I was.
Well, what I'm saying is she got like 10 issues in, and it became all about Tim and Clayface and Cassandra.
Yes, it did. Because I got the impression from like first reading Detective, like the Tynion Detective, that like Kathy's kind of the main character, and then it was like,
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, you keep going. I just was chiming in to help out.
Just I thought she was supposed to be the main character, and then they were like, "How about Tim though?" And I'm like, "Listen, I love Tim. I want that, but do something with Kathy then."
And now the book is pivoted again to where it's like, and hey, this final arc, what if it's about the legacy of the Batgirls, though? And wouldn't you like some more Batgirl? And I'm like, yeah, I would.
Yes, all right, do it. Like, fine. So, yeah, Justice League looks cool. Like, the DC is doing the right things with most of their brands, and I'm very excited about it.
And that's what I'm excited about. It looks like they're continuing to realize what the fans actually want. Yeah. As much as I appreciate some of what Marvel's done, some of what Marvel's done, I feel, has been great. It's been a good push. It's been a good attention, like a way to revitalize a character that was getting very stale and getting poor views, like Thor was.
Yeah.
Bringing in Mighty Thor, it was a huge divider, but it really shook things up and made it interesting. And I feel like there's another side of Marvel that's like, fuck you guys, we're going to make this book because we want to make this book. Oh, you don't want to read it? We don't fucking care. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I feel like. There's a whole side of Marvel that does that. And I feel like that's...
Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider.
Yeah.
But even
like,
that,
you want Ben Reilly? Got it. We're going to give you Ben Reilly, but he's going to be a mass killer that lives in Las Vegas. No. That's not what I wanted.
Yeah. Well, that's
Monkey's paw.
You know what that is? That feels like they were like, we want Peter David to do it, and Peter David's like, I'll only do it if he's an asshole. Like,
okay.
Fine.
All right, Peter.
But what I'm saying is, like, as much as I love some of the stuff they've done, like, I've yet to feel that way with anything in DC. Yes, some DC books have been shitty, and some of the stuff they've gone in has not done well. But I've yet to read a DC book and go, who the hell was this one written for?
Yes.
You know, like, this is not written for me or a different group or a new demographic. Who wrote this?
No, that's well, and you know what that is? That's just tight editorial control. DC's like, we don't greenlight books without editorial oversight. And Marvel doesn't. Marvel's like, well, we only have like 4 editors for like 96 books. So if we want X writer to write something and we don't pay attention to what they're doing, then that's going to then whatever they want is going to be published.
Yeah, exactly.
and that's
looks good.
Yeah, and you need a professional who like knows how the comic book industry works at the gate to quote gatekeep the book. But no, for real, like they need somebody who's like, yo, they ain't gonna read this. Like
this ain't go fly. No one wants to read that shit. Yo,
I've seen Marvel do things where they go, this book's too important, it's got to come out. Like it's got to come out. I don't care if nobody reads it.
Yeah,
but that's not what most of these books are.
No. Which brings us to the next thing, because fans wanted this. Now, I see the fact that Supergirl was uncanceled tells me that either A, they got a better writer on it and they were on board, or they realized fans wanted Supergirl. But Supergirl is back. It looks like a lot of books just took a month or 2 off. All these books that we thought were canceled, like Teen Titans and Titans,
really. Yeah.
They're not even restarting. They're on like 21 and 24.
Smart. Good. Like, do that. I mean, we are not quite there yet, but I've always suggested that they do this thing where like you only put out like 7 to 12 books a month for seasons. You know, like, for this quarter there won't be any Flash books, but you know, you get these other books that are going to get the attention they that, because if you're going to buy a book for the next 6 months, these are the books that are available, and if you want to wait for Flash, you'll wait until the next like quarter. I'm not
do it like they do
that
TV.
To Flash, but you know, you do that with those books, and then then you resume. You know, like the next series of Flash is either like a renumbered like 12 issue like maxi, or it's like, no, we pick up with issue 47. Like we just keep going.
And that I like that. I like that they're doing that. Because, I mean, they're not... I don't see any fresh... the only fresh new number 1 I see in here is The Adventures of Super Sons, which is why I disagree with what you're saying, Sal, that they're going for number 1s. Because there's so many opportunities to make a bunch of new number 1s in here. I think there's more to it than just Tomasi... Like, I don't know. I don't know why they did it. I don't know.
It makes sense. Like, it could be that they saw sales dwindling for Super Sons, and they're like, it needs a shot in the arm, give it a new title, give it a new relaunch, because... Or Tomasi convinced them to uncancel Super Sons, and they're like, we can't just say we uncanceled it, give it a new title, and give it a number 1. Like,
no, have you read what this is about? I think what you just said is it, Sal.
Oh, what is it?
It's a flashback miniseries. So whatever the actual evolution of the Super Sons is happening. This is a flashback miniseries taking place during the Super Sons run.
Oh, right.
So whatever's happening to them won't be affected.
Okay. Right, which leads me to believe that they want to, shuffle some of those characters around for the inevitable Young Justice series that they are no doubt going to do to tie in with the 3rd season of that show, and it happens. They'd be stupid not to.
This is true.
That's probably what it is, Sal. It's probably exactly what you said. Tomasi convinced them to uncancel it, and it wasn't even canceled due to poor sales. We know that. It was probably just canceled for whatever's happening after Justice League.
It also means the series... It also means the series can move around unmolested by the events of Doomsday Clock, No Justice, and everything else.
Yeah.
It was probably along the lines of, hey, Tomasi, it's been a great book, but the way that we're taking John and Damian, this isn't going to work anymore.
Also, so it doesn't have to gel with what Bendis is doing, or not doing even, potentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that makes sense then. And it allows us to have the good stories because as it reads out, check out the Lost and Secret Adventures of Damian Wayne and John Kent in a flashback miniseries that takes a deep dive into the bombastic bromance between the sons of DC's universe's greatest heroes. An epic dual storyline that transcends current events.
Yeah.
Yep. It's entirely so that they can do a story outside of what's happening.
They even put it in there, transcending current events.
Yeah. So I think it's exactly what you said, Sal. I think it was canceled, and Tomasi was kind of mums about it. But probably when it was being canceled, it was like, if we see enough backlash, we're just going to bring it back. Because the sales weren't bad.
Well, and DC is very happy to give the fans what they want or what they think they want, which I don't necessarily agree with as a publishing strategy. I think it's don't listen to the fans. They're fans. They'll read what you if they're lifers, they're going to buy whatever you put out. But work on giving them something that will blow their minds. No, don't just be like, well, they all want to see this character and this character team up. I guess you can do that, but only if you have a good story. Don't do it just because they asked for it.
That's what I think they're doing. I think they're listening to the fans, but they're not just doing it for the sake of the fans.
Right.
I feel like throwing Gwenpool onto the West Coast Avengers back on Marvel side is entirely because the fans want Gwenpool. And they're like, well, we'll just give it to her. Just put her on something, you know? And I'm glad that DC's doing it. They're like, well, we know you guys want Super Sons, but we're not just going to shove them on a team. Right. We got to figure out a good way to do this.
Yeah, exactly. So that's cool. But those are it's a good looking roster of solicitations we're seeing coming up.
Indeed.
I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I'm also playing Final Fantasy 14 at the same time as I usually do.
Nice.
And the new patch came out, so.
Ooh.
Well, it's all a bunch of new content. So I'm looking at the list. I'm like, where do I go? Where do I go, George?
What's new?
Where do I go? Where do I go, Joe? Where do I go?
I don't know, but nice Looney Tunes reference. That's another thing they got going on at DC. Nice segue. More Looney Tunes
so let's
crossovers.
go ahead and talk about that. So the DC has also announced that they're doing the Looney Tunes thing.
Yes.
So what that's leading to is, I guess they did well enough that we're going to get sequels.
Yeah.
And those sequels are, I'm scrolling. There we go. We get Catwoman and Sylvester the Cat.
Interesting.
We're getting Harley Quinn and Gossamer. Okay, I don't even know who the hell Gossamer is.
Gossamer is the big red guy.
Oh,
the big red guy.
Joker and Daffy Duck.
That's a fun pairing.
The art just looks weird. Who drew it?
Because people forget Daffy Duck in his solo cartoons is pretty psychotic in his own right. So they have him
That's true.
team up with Joker.
Oh, art and cover by Brett Booth and Norm Rapmund. I've never heard of them.
I've heard of Brett Booth. That's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I just realized would help?
What?
Oop.
What?
Did we lose Sal?
No.
No.
I can't hear anyone. What the hell happened?
I'm listening.
What the fuck?
Can we hear him, Sal, but he can't hear us?
Yeah.
Well, hot damn.
I can't hear. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Wave your arms, Joel, if you can hear me.
We can hear you. We can hear everything you're saying.
Why is it doing this?
Oh, no.
But he can't hear us, so this is our time where we can badmouth him right to his face and he won't hear anything.
My computer has been having so many issues. The only way I could think of to fix this, I've had to restart it every time.
Oh, my God.
Hold on. I'm fixing this.
You know who sucks, Benny? That was for you,
they
Chad.
can hear us fine. Oh, no.
That's amazing. Are we gonna have to pantomime out the rest of the show? I see two there. Solicitations, good.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
I want to believe that Benny's actually fixing the problem, but there's a part of me that thinks he's just playing Final Fantasy.
That he's just fucking with us. That's like, oh man, this new Evil-y stuff in Stormblood is so good.
I'll be right back. I'm going to restart.
Okay. All right.
Well, all right
We'll
then.
All right.
Change going,
Well, while we wait for Benny, we can talk about the DC solicitations for Looney Tunes. I don't like this Looney Tunes thing.
It's I thought it was a fun idea. I thought they were fun, variant covers, and that's what they started as. They were variant covers, and then they got so popular they became their own things.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Because we lost Benny, you are now all over this screen.
I am all over the screen. I am the great and powerful Oz.
Let me, you know what I'll do? I'm gonna throw up a thing. I'm gonna throw
There
up
you go.
like a card. so that we can wait for Benny to come back.
Make me not look giant and freakish.
Yeah, exactly.
The last Looney Tunes one was Lex Luthor, Porky Pig, and that sounds kind of funny.
Does it? That sounds stupid. These all look really stupid.
The way they're going with the Porky Pig Lex Luthor one, where I'm like, oh, they're making like a joke about the pigs who eat at the troughs of capitalism.
Yeah, I got it. It's I literally got it. It took a tenth of a second to figure out what like armchair freshman in high school metatextual idea you just came up with. You know what? I'm gonna take this opportunity to go to the bathroom.
All right, you do that. I'll entertain everyone then.
Oh, Benny's back. All right, I'm going to transition over.
What the fuck? My sound just cut out. It's not got.
Are you
wave
good?
your arms if you can hear me.
Can you hear us? We can hear you.
Yeah.
Fuck.
No.
Wow. Amazing. Best
Fuck you,
show
Windows.
ever.
What the fuck did you do?
Award-winning podcast, The Weekly Pull, everybody.
Yeah, we won an award.
Over 100 episodes in, and it's still anything can still happen.
Yeah, we're over 150 episodes, by the way.
Are we really? I haven't checked that in a while. Huh. What are we gonna do for 200? Juggle chainsaws?
Why not?
Can we get a cake?
You want to confirm that for us? I'm pretty sure this might actually be the 150th episode.
Oh wow! I was gonna say at 200, do we get a cake? Is that the cake anniversary 200?
Well, someone's got to get it. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
I mean, we could send some cake around to everyone, but it's gonna be hard for Jersey, Colorado, Canada.
What? Why isn't it working?
I have no clue. This is amazing.
They can hear you.
That's stunning. That they can hear us, but they can't. We can't hear each other.
Oh my god! I figured it out.
Oh, what is it?
I don't want to say. The chat's gonna make fun of me.
We're gonna make fun of you.
Okay, so I just went through, restarted the computer, turned off and on all of my sound devices. I couldn't figure it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is my gaming headset.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
There's a wheel on the back of it for manual volume control. I turned it down.
Yay.
Round of applause for Benny, everyone. Round of applause. Let this moment live forever and go forth across the internet for all to hear and see.
Oh, damn.
The bards shall sing songs of this day.
I'm sitting here turning off devices, reacting. Like, what the hell's going on?
Well, you know what? That's fine. That's classic The Weekly Poll.
Yep.
It's funny because I turned everything back on and I'm watching all the meters and I'm like, there's no reason there's no sound coming out at this point. I'm like,
oh no. All right, let me step away for a second. You guys continue the Looney Tunes thing because I have no investment in that Looney Tunes thing. I'll be right back.
I know you don't.
Okay, where was I got to pull my list back up?
The last one, Lex Luthor and Porky Pig was the last one.
Okay. God damn it.
and that's basically it. I mean, any one of these could be a surprise hit. The Batman Elmer Fudd one from last year actually ended up being a pretty surprise hit to the point Tom King worked it into continuity.
Well, most of them turned out to be like huge hits. That's why I think they're doing this again.
Because
I guess it's like that.
It's easy to pick up, and it's a novelty, and you don't need to know any continuity. It's just like, hey, here's a DC character you like, and here's a Looney Tune character you like.
Oh, yeah, you're 100% right. And I think that's what they're going for with this. I think that they're like, oh, well, people seem to be enjoying this, so let's go ahead and do this.
Yeah.
I'm getting so tired of like whenever someone's like, we enjoyed that, and they're like, we will never come back to that. I hope you enjoyed that one shot. Never
really.
Again.
That was your one treat.
Yeah, that was your one treat. Enjoy.
And I mean, hey, they own the characters, so like, why not, right? I mean, it's easy for them to do it. It's not like they have to work it out with another company, like when Power Rangers crosses over with Justice League or Masters of the Universe. They got to talk to another company. This is easy. They do all this shit in house.
Yep, exactly. That one takes. That one doesn't take much effort at all. Power Rangers does, although aren't they having a sequel to that now?
I don't know if they are. If they aren't, I think I would hear about it if they did. I know Power Rangers is going strong in their own universe.
Dude, Sal's not here. Let's talk about how amazing that is. Shattered Grid, man.
Oh yeah,
so fucking awesome.
Continuity, love fest. God, Kyle Higgins is good.
Oh my God, it's so good, and you can tell he loves writing it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He doesn't feel forced at all. It feels like he knows what he's doing and he's enjoying it. It's so good.
It really is. It's to the point where I'm like, man, why couldn't they have made this into a movie instead of like that last reboot they did?
Yes. Joel, I mean, I love to rag on you and give you shit for your choices and your decisions and how much you love Green Arrow. But man, you were so right about this one. I only started reading it because you kept saying how good it is.
Yeah, he's really on fire with this one. It's almost like, damn, it's hard to believe that Kyle Higgins left DC originally because he was so mistreated during the New 52 era because he was a young writer and they basically told him what to write. He's got that and he's got Dead Hand going on, his like indie series about like the Cold War. So he's getting a lot of accolades these days. Good for him. He's a nice guy.
So, okay, back to the DC solicits though. Supergirl number 21 has been announced. That is the uncancellation of Supergirl. This one officially is uncanceled because it was officially canceled. How do you feel about this one?
It's interesting. I'll give it that much. There was some cool stuff on Instagram where the artist showed all the alternate takes on the costume that we almost got.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's cool.
She almost had a hoodie. She almost had a Kane hoodie.
Oh,
I would have taken the Kane hoodie. Have you guys seen the new Catwoman costume?
Yeah,
Yes.
It looks like a hodgepodge of like the 90s one and the like tactical one that she's
It's a little of everything.
for a while.
It looks to me like we're going closer to the 90s, but she just has no armpits.
Yeah.
I don't know why she decided to go with sans armpits. Does she have a sweat problem she doesn't want you to know about?
More room, I guess. More room to maneuver.
Yeah.
You know, now that she's a married woman, she needs more room to maneuver.
Yeah, this is
so
an interesting idea for her. I mean, it's it's a cool looking outfit. I don't know what the impetus was behind it though.
No, neither do I.
I also don't know why it was because out of all of the costumes in the New 52, very few of them were considered like that's great, keep that, and hers was one of them.
Yeah. With her weird knee boots.
Oh yeah.
I liked the New 52 costume. I mean, it was just a giant jumper, and she'd just be like, "Look at boobs," and then wins.
Yeah, that was the entirety of the New 52 Catwoman book right there. You summed it all up.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish that they kept the goggles. I was a big fan of the
The
goggle
goggles
look.
were really a big part of the character.
She's the
It
one
was.
character who's not obnoxious with goggles.
Yeah. No, I dug those. I dug the tactical suit. But oh, that's right. No, I'm sorry. This looks like the Michelle Pfeiffer costume plus the tactical suit. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like a combo
Right.
of the two of them.
Yeah.
To whom Tom King really loves, because in that last time travel arc, he just gave her the Michelle Pfeiffer costume. Apropos.
I'm shocked. I would not
know.
be surprised in the least if like one of the main and like only like Catwoman stories he knows is the one from Batman Returns.
Makes sense.
So okay, well that's that one. And she's getting her own book as of August.
Yeah.
I'm actually
that's-
excited about that. I've been missing a Catwoman central story now.
That doesn't bode well for their marriage.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
No, King has come out and said that the marriage is going to issue 100.
There's also rumor of a new crisis incoming, so you tell me.
Yeah.
No, they debunked that rumor.
Yes,
they
I
debunked
heard
it.
that.
They officially,
Did they now?
every writer at DC who has got any like push, Jeff Johns, Snyder came out, everyone came, Jim Lee, they all said there's no crisis coming. We're not doing a crisis.
I would say that too if they leaked my crisis plans. Also, Dark Knight's Metal was supposed to be called Dark Crisis, so it's clearly in their mind and in the back of their head.
That's
they might
true.
not call it a crisis, but it's going to be a crisis.
Yeah, the fact that
I mean,
they didn't call Dark Knight's Metal like Dark Crisis means that they have room to have another crisis. So who knows?
I mean, Dark Knight's Metal felt like a crisis. It
Oh,
really
was.
did.
Oh no,
Yes, it was a
in every
crisis
way.
in everything but name.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like the multiverse was in jeopardy. Everyone was dying. Everything was gone.
Oh yeah.
So, okay, there's that one. And then we have, apparently, Suicide Squad and Aquaman are going to be doing a crossover. Sync of
Interesting.
Atlantis.
Very unexpected to see those two books cross over. But all right.
Yeah.
But I'm also cool with that. Like I think it's a neat idea.
Yeah.
You don't get to see his interaction with those characters very much. I'm sure there'll be a Black Manta thing involved in some way. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a neat idea. I might read it. Who knows?
Isn't it weird that Suicide Squad, even with a so-so movie, has gone from being like a nobody book that nobody cared about to one of the biggest DC books going on right now?
It's
Yeah, As much as I hate to admit it, I think it's the Harley Quinn connection.
Totally.
I think she's the new pillar, and I think that's one of the books people get their Harley Quinn fix from.
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I do. I love the Harley Quinn Deadshot dynamic on that book.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know if you guys read it, but I read Suicide Squad. I dropped off at the last arc, but not for any reason other than I just didn't have time to read it. So like I'm going back. I enjoy the arcs.
Yeah.
I stopped very early. I kind of had a moment of like, okay, call me back when you go back to the Ostrander era stuff. Which they might be doing soon if the Brian Azzarello rumor is true. So I might be getting back in very soon.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm trying to see what was next on the list. We got Batgirl. I've stopped reading Batgirl a while ago. I liked Batgirl at Burnside, but ever since Rebirth, her journey to Japan and all that crap, I was like, I'm done. I don't care.
I also gave it about an arc. Same with Birds of Prey. Enjoyed them both enough, but I'm just like, I have too many books. I have to make some cuts.
Yeah.
It's kind of what it came down to with me. Like, there was no real particular reason. I wasn't digging that arc. I very easily could have jumped onto another arc.
Right.
But I just didn't care. Like, there's so many other books I was reading at the time, and I was just kind of like,
Yeah.
Batgirl doesn't do anything cool anymore.
Batgirl isn't a character for me. Like, that's not, like, I like Batman. I'm not really a Batgirl kind of or reader. Burnside, like, I jumped in and checked it out. You know, I'm like, oh, this is like, let's see what she's doing. Let's see what all the fuss is about. And I'm like, right on, I see what you're doing. Cool, enjoy yourself. I don't care.
I'll be back later. I'm surprised she's kept the Burnside costume for as long as she had. I would assume that they would have changed that.
It was successful. Even if you didn't like the DCU era of Batgirl, you can't deny the success. I literally just saw like a brand new statue of Batgirl Burnside like coming out, and I was like, they're still milking this statue. Like, they're still making money off this freaking character's costume. Like, just that.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I liked the Burnside costume. I liked the idea. I don't think I was put together of her just grabbing random shit with it.
No,
and then being now it's my costume.
Yeah, they never addressed it later. Where it's like, but you threw this together in your time of need. Don't you want more high tech stuff? Don't you want better Kevlar? No, I'm just gonna keep this stuff I threw together.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, she never is like, oh, I upgraded this or I made these boots do this now.
Yeah.
It's like you literally grabbed them out of like a trash bag.
Yeah,
it's true.
That's weird. It's weird that Batman wouldn't insist on her changing it, but all right.
Yeah. But as long as you live under my cave roof, you will live by my rules and wear my Kevlar the way I do.
Yeah.
Well, so, I'm not going to live under your roof. I'm going to go to a thinly veiled Bathurst and Blur because my writers are Canadian or were.
It looks like Batman 52 and 53 are going to be about the trial of Mr. Freeze. That looks like fun.
Mr. Freeze is always a great character, especially if they're using real Mr. Freeze and not like actor-obsessed weirdo like New 52 Mr. Freeze.
Which Snyder did away with, then no writer ever went back to, so I think he's bad, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
that's why we need a crisis.
So, based on this not even mentioning Catwoman and her getting a book, I think what's going on is the wedding is going to happen and they're going to be married, but the characters are then going to be allowed to go off and do their own things.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
I was like, because ever since War of Jokes and Riddles, actually, I'd say I Am Pain, Batman and Catwoman, it hasn't been a Batman book. It's been a Batman and Catwoman book.
It really has been.
But I would expect her to... maybe the fact that she's getting a book is indicative of her becoming a member of the Bat family formally because every other member of the Bat family has a book.
It's true.
Maybe they actually feel like emboldened to make a Catwoman book now because they're like, well, like, we could only sell a Catwoman book originally because of the hype around Catwoman that like existed during this very small period of time, but now that she's literally affiliated with the Bat family, she's technically a Batman book.
Yeah,
and that will see that'll see a boost.
Is she still going to be stealing, though? Because that's a bridge they've yet to cross. How does Batman feel about that?
He clearly doesn't mind as long as he gets laid, so yeah.
No, and Alfred doesn't care either. What heroes? Neither Batman nor Alfred cares about theft.
Yeah. Well, when you're rich, you really don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, they just pay everything up. She runs off and steals things, and then they just buy it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, she steals stuff, and then Batman makes a small donation for them.
She's like one of those, like, you know, Rich Park Avenue women there who's like, oh, I steal things I don't even need.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen a lot of backlash because I've said how much I do like the Catwoman Batman thing. Yeah. A lot of people are like, no, it doesn't make any sense. She's a thief.
No, I'm cool.
But, I mean, Batman literally said, I don't care anymore. I just want happiness. That was the whole point of the plot.
Yeah.
Like, because that's always been what's divided them. Where he's like, "Oh, I just can't trust you because you're a thief."
Right.
This whole thing started with him going, "I want happiness finally, so I don't care." And
Right.
I feel like that's what's going to come back to bite him eventually.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care attitude.
Oh, it has to.
Yeah, I got sloppy. Look
Yeah,
ridiculous
exactly.
talking.
And I don't mean Nightwing.
Man, it looks like Batman Beyond finally is revealing the Robin Beyond costume. Spoilers in the solicits.
Ooh.
Eh.
It looks like little Batman Beyond.
And Joel continues to be indifferent to this non-animated version of Batman Beyond.
Dude, are you not reading it? This book is great.
No, because
It answers so many questions. He met Damien.
I never had questions for Batman Beyond because it was all in the show.
Oh! Joel, stop being dumb.
What's is it Terry again?
It is Terry again.
I don't
yeah.
read it, so I don't know.
It's Terry and now his brother. They basically, last arc, his brother became Robin Beyond, but he didn't have a costume. So.
Fine.
They also disappeared the Future's End Tim in a blue light. So thanks, Dr. Manhattan, for cleaning that one up.
Yeah, good.
That reminds, it's kind of like, I mean, I guess we can't really talk about it yet unless you guys want to. Well, we're getting close. Let me just speed through the endings. We'll go to Deadpool because that reminds me of the ending of Deadpool.
Yeah.
We got Batwoman 18. That's still going. The Catwoman book, that's not new. Cave Carson's still going. Curse of Brimstone's still going.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised any of those made it past 3 issues.
Same
Me too.
here.
I think
Damage
6
and
issues
Raise
and
getting
that's
it.
it.
Damage is getting an annual and an 8th issue, which is shocking.
That's a joke.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to know
Deathstroke
how
versus
it's
Batman is still
selling.
going.
Take a look.
Yeah.
Yeah, how
Deathstroke
are they
continues to
selling?
be great.
Are they not long for this world?
I have to assume they're dead and like dead in the water, but let me take a look.
I mean, if they cut back the Young Animal imprint, I have to imagine that New Age of Heroes is next.
yeah.
Okay. So, Eternity Girl is still going. Do you guys anyone know what this one's about?
No. I don't read
it's-
Eternity Girl.
The concept's cool. The book is shit, but the concept is really cool. It's like a girl who can't die, but she's being forcibly revived. It's a weird thing. The concept got really cool, and I was like, oh, I like this idea. I'm going to read it. It's not good.
It sounds like Flatliners.
Yeah.
Flatliners, good call.
Yeah. There.
Flatliners.
Wow, there was no damage in April. That's interesting.
Huh.
Because I'm looking
Sideways.
at March. Damage. Where the
Then
hell
we
is
have the
it?
2 Flash, Flash 52, Flash 53. It looks like whatever happens after Flash War is teaming up with. So this spoils it, but apparently Barry's still the Flash afterwards because
Yeah.
he's on the cover with Captain Cold.
Well, but dumb tish.
Well, according to Comicstorian, in March, Damage number 3 sold 22,000 copies.
Damn.
In April, yeah, it outsold Cable. It outsold Moon Knight.
Wow.
It outsold Rogan Gambit, which is too bad because that was a fun series. But anyway, Damage number 3 was 22.3. Damage number 4 was 21.6. So
That is insanity.
it dropped off 1,000 copies or readers. So it looks like it's averaging about losing about 1,000 readers a month.
Wow.
That's really good
Yeah.
for an obscure hero that no one has ever heard of.
Yeah, Damage
Well, a
outsold
brand new one.
Sideways.
Jesus. So people really want a DC Hulk is what they're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Damage-
all knew that not all of these books were going to survive.
Yeah.
Oh, of course not.
Damage
Even they
outsold
know.
Renew Your Vows, which of course I've always been warning. Like if you want to see that married Peter Parker, you got to keep buying that book.
Dude, that book has gone so bad. Look, I
don't
love
read
Jodie
it.
Hauser's writing on Faith. I love some of her work
Can't
on
handle
Mother
it.
Panic.
It's just garbage.
Dude, if you read that, it's like she's never read a goddamn Spider-Man book in her life.
It's just a bad book, and it could be
Yes!
because she knows that like the editorial doesn't want the book to succeed. It could be because they forced them to do this time jump, and she didn't want to do a book
Yep.
about a teenage girl. It could be because like the Annie Mae Parker is redundant as a teenage Spider-Girl if you already have a teenage Spider-Girl. But either way, the book is unreadable, and the art does not complement it. It's a garbage fire, that book.
It is, and that what blows my mind is like I like Jodie Hauser's writing. She's not the great. She's not a Scott Snyder. She's not a Jeff Johns to me. She's not a Tom
no,
Taylor.
but she's good.
But she's not. Yeah, she's not a bad writer.
Right.
So
She
when
can
she
do
took
better.
over, I'm like, oh sweet, this is like they're giving this book a shot. And it's just been bad.
They
Bad
had
story after bad writing after. I feel like she's phoning it in. Like they brought her in to try and keep it going, and she's like, "It's Spider-Man. I can't say no.
Yeah,
but I don't want to do it."
They had magic with Conway, and I don't know why they got rid of that.
I actually asked Conway about it, and he said that he was not interested in writing a book about a teenager. The only reason he was interested in the book was because they pitched it to him as a family drama about like a little girl and a new mom and dad.
And that was a great book.
Yeah, and when they took that away, he was like, "What's the point of doing this?" And he left the book.
Heartbreaking.
Because the book is all about teenage Mayday right now, and it's like, no.
Nope, don't give a shit.
I didn't sign up for that. I signed up for the
I did it all. I signed up for young and like I loved the family dynamic.
Yep.
And I loved them going with Little Normie and all that other stuff they were doing. And like I loved the idea of like Mary Jane becoming Venom. I was like, this is the coolest idea ever.
Editorial force. They forced them to do that.
They forced him into that?
Yeah, it was actually according to Conway, the sales were they were a little afraid of sales, so editorial told them make Mary Jane into Venom.
Do a Venom thing.
Okay, I don't like it. I don't like how editorial wanted to go to the teenage. I did like their decision on Venom, or at least how Jerry Conway wrote it in.
Yeah, he made lemonade out of those lemons.
Yeah, Conway's a good writer, so he was able to make it work. I was like, I'm not here for that weird dynamic. I'm here for these two to be together and be a family, not to read this random bullshit.
It was smart too that Mary Jane becomes Venom story, because he wrote it as like, well, what about those suburban moms who try just a little crystal meth so they can get through their days and get all their chores done? But what if the crystal meth was a symbiote?
That's what I liked. I liked how he handled it. I thought it was really good, really well done the way he did the Venom symbiote into there.
Yeah,
very clever.
No, it was a neat idea, but yeah, no, that book's garbage. Don't bother. I mean, like.
So sad.
I feel bad too because like I said, I do like some of Jody Houser's writing, and this is just because it's Spider-Man. It's such a big title.
Yeah.
It's definitely not doing her name well.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, Jody Houser was gonna have a hard time, like trading on her name with her credits being like Faith and this dead book.
Exactly.
So
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I saw somebody do a tweet, and I agreed with this one. I don't remember what I saw. It might have been from like the diversity group and all them. Yeah. But they were going on about saying how they feel bad for some of these writers because since they're trendy, they're being used for things like Spider-Man, and they're just getting their work shit on because editorial's fucking.
Right.
And that's true. A lot of these trendy writers are getting these weird gigs that you're like, not sure about that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean. It's weird. There's no rhyme or reason.
No, there isn't. Some of these decisions just make no sense.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about Deadpool and holy shit, are you kidding me?
What?
Dante just hit me up with the plot synopsis for Avengers 4 released by Marvel.
Oh. Well, let's take a look.
I'm looking at it now. I'll ping it over to you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Please do.
Let me see what Bleeding Cool has to say about this, because
it's
Rich is going to be on top of that.
Comicbook.com.
Oh.
If it was Bleeding Cool, I would take it with a grain of salt. Sometimes Rich is dead on. Sometimes he's just swinging up fences.
Yep, there it is. What what the hell's up with comicbook.com? Like, where did that come from? Right?
Indeed.
Like, here's a question. Why put Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe on that channel?
Oh, I have no idea. We're not going to spoil anything, guys. Don't worry. You can read this yourself if you want to.
Yeah.
Oh, this isn't even a spoiler. All it says is what the movie's about.
Sounds like a press release. Sounds like shit we could have filled in ourselves.
The culmination of 22 interconnected films, the fourth installment of the Avengers saga, will draw audience to witness the turning point of this epic journey. Our beloved heroes will truly understand how fragile this reality is and the sacrifices that must be made to uphold it.
Yeah, that's
all we got.
It's just,
so nothing we didn't already know.
It's just, the Avengers have had a hard time, and I hope they succeed, and they try to win.
Exactly.
They have been through the bad time.
As far as I know, the only stuff we have on Avengers 4 right now, this isn't even spoilers, but there's been a few set photos released, which then got doctored to put Deadpool in them, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Deadpool himself doctored them because he's that kind of guy.
We should talk about. Let's fold that into our Deadpool discussion when we get to the spoilers, because I think
the photos.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about Deadpool 2 for like 15, 20 minutes now. We're towards the end of our podcast, guys. If you don't want to hang around because you don't want to spoil anything for Deadpool 2, that's perfectly fine. We appreciate you being here. Don't forget to check us out every other week right here on the Eligible Monster Twitch channel. We also do a podcast every Sunday, every Monday, and every Thursday right here talking about comic books, conspiracies, and video games, whatever kind of floats our boat for those particular days. But if the rest of you want to stick around, you're more than welcome to do. We're going to talk about Deadpool 2. I will say there is really nothing to spoil. If you thought Deadpool was going to lose, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No.
There's no big surprises. What? Everything you know that happens in the movie you can see in the trailers. So there's not really any. I'd say the biggest spoiler would be like one prisoner. So and we're going to talk about him. So if you don't want to know that, this is your chance, okay?
Yeah.
And even then, they actually do a pretty good job signposting it with another character who shows up.
Yeah. So, okay, right off the bat, I'm just going to say I liked this more than Avengers.
Really?
As much as I enjoyed Avengers, I did see the inherent problem with Avengers. It treated everyone who watched the movie as if they had seen every other movie in the franchise.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it's what you do when you do an interconnective universe.
Well, yes and no, but there was no room for having not seen something. Like, my wife hadn't seen Black Panther because she was in the hospital during that period, so she was waiting on a DVD. So when they went to Wakanda, she had no idea what was going on or who anybody was.
Wow, that's really unfortunate.
That's what I'm saying.
Such a huge part of that final act.
Now take somebody who hasn't, and thank you so much, Black Mage 8-Bit, for that 23 months in a row.
Yeah.
Rob's just out for this week. He's not leaving the show. He'll be back in 2 weeks or whatever. Whenever we come back again.
Yep.
Is Rich Evans replacing Rob?
So. That's my only real big problem with Avengers, other than the fact that you knew where the entire plot was going to go, regardless of not knowing the actual points that got us there. You knew what was going to happen in Avengers. Deadpool, I feel, is better because it doesn't treat you like you have to have known anything. A lot of his jokes are you don't know who some of these characters are.
Right.
You know.
Also, if you didn't see the original, a lot of the jokes would probably feel fresher because they recycle a good handful of jokes here and there. At least bring them back with different twists on them.
Yeah. No, so that's for me. That's why I felt Deadpool 2 was a better movie overall, because I feel like it was just come have a good time. Well, Avengers was like come watch the ending to 10 years. You know, like.
Well, yeah, I mean, two different intents for sure. I would definitely say I thought it was as funny as the first one. I definitely laughed as much, but I could not help but feel the extra money and the extra budget made it feel a lot less focused, which again, they even turn into a joke where it's like, hey, we can have a big CGI fight right here. We couldn't in the first one because we couldn't afford it.
Yeah. That I did have a problem with in Avengers 2. I was kind of like, I'm not Avengers 2, on Deadpool.
Right.
I did like how the first one was definitely more focused on Deadpool.
It was laser focused because it had to be because they made it on like a shoelace budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked Deadpool 1 more. But
it's a better film, I think.
Yeah, but I enjoyed this film fine. I had a great time watching it. I liked a lot of the humor was not, for me, it didn't hit as hard as the first one, but I still had a nice time. There were a lot more like heavy-handed and more fun like deep dive comic book references, which was cool and appreciated. Yeah. I don't know if I agree with the Avengers comparison, but I do. I get your I get your reason for like contextualization.
See, because you treat your channel more for the comic book fan who's been around for a little while. You kind of cater to them. You don't really cater to the newcomers. And everything I do on Comicstorian is always catered as if this is somebody's very first video or very first entry into the world of comic books. Yeah. I like to call myself the gatekeeper of comics, the way the channel's structured, because you can come to my channel and find something you like and then go enjoy comic books. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I've structured it. So whenever I go watch something like Avengers or I go watch Deadpool, I always look for, if I had no idea what was going on, how would I be viewing this?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I looked at Avengers like that. Like, well, yeah, because you're not going to know what the hell's going on.
Right. I mean, but at the same time, it also made no bones about whether or not that was going to be the case. It wasn't like, come see Avengers and it'll be a great time. It was like, no, if you don't know what the hell's happening, you have like plenty of time to go watch all those movies and get yourself caught up. And even then, you don't need to see them all. You really only need to see like 4 movies. And like even then, it's like, Do you know who the Avengers are? No, catch Avengers. Do you know
There you
who
go.
Black Panther is? No, catch Black Panther. You know who the Guardians are?
yeah.
No, catch Guardians. You're good.
I wouldn't say it's as bad as the New Yorker article stated, where it was just one giant trailer for other movies. I don't think that was the case at
No,
all.
fuck the New Yorker and their clickbait bullshit. That was complete horseshit.
Yeah, I mean, it was dumb.
Fuck a lot of what the New Yorker's been writing recently.
The amount of like I would consider respectable news outlets that have gone just straight down the clickbait rabbit hole is getting ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And they want to make that YouTube money too, everybody.
It really is true. Like the allure.
It's the
of,
New Yorker. I mean, they're not the greatest publication, but you never were
legitimate-
sitting here like, man, the New Yorker, and you never were like, man, the New Yorker went all BuzzFeed on that one.
Yeah, the New Yorker went cracked. Like, thanks.
And Cracked used to be good until they fired everyone and started hiring cheaper content.
Yeah.
I found the whole Cracked content cast. They're on another channel now.
Yeah, really?
Yes,
yeah, they
are.
have a Patreon.
Yes, it's good shit. If you like Michael Swain and all those other guys, check them out. They're
I will
funny
say,
people.
That show After Hours was a nightmare.
Really? You didn't like After Hours?
I thought it was like the worst thing.
The what? The one where they sat around for a meal in the diner?
Yeah, that's the one.
What was wrong with it?
None of them can act.
Wow.
It's like the most obviously scripted thing I've ever seen. It was just like they're like, no. Let me get. Like, it was like a film student writing a Tarantino script, and it was like, woof. Just try a little harder. I don't know. But I guess that show's over now.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Well, it's funny. They fired everyone, then they tried to do it again with new people, and everyone just shat on it.
That
They're
works.
like, no.
You can't do that.
Wait, did they? I
Yes,
didn't
they
catch
did.
that.
Yes, they tried to reboot it with new people. I think they only did one episode and then deleted it because the response was
deleted?
so bad.
I'll go look, but no, that's funny. Ugh.
Hey, it's the same as what you remember. It would be like if they did the weekly pull and we were all gone and they hired new people.
Yeah, that's not how this works.
Yeah, and no, yeah, and you've never heard of them. It's not like they replaced us with people you knew. It was just straight up different people.
Well, I mean, isn't that what they did with SourceFed?
So
And they're like, we're now this.
Well, SourceFed's a mess, but yeah, they replaced it with a different channel. Like they just straight up here's 4 different people who don't even interact with each other, and no, that was woof.
Well, what's funny about that and what they just did with Cracked, it proves that modern, like old hat media, doesn't understand YouTube and digital media. They don't get it.
Still,
Because they look at it as like a TV channel.
Yeah.
Like if you were to take Sci-Fi and replace it with a new channel tomorrow, yes, you'd get backlash, but you would still get people watching. It would be what happened.
Well, we can replace Dick York with Dick Sargent.
look at good reference. Can you look at the look at Sci-Fi? Actually, a great example that you mentioned because you've seen the Sci-Fi Channel YouTube channel and how like all in they are on comic content, and how they're just making all these they're like doing all these like random shows about comics and about interviews with creators and different like artists and stuff, and it's like, and they're getting like 1,000 views an episode or whatever, and you're like, what are you doing? This is what you think this is? Like, you think this is what we do? Like,
What you take me for, sir?
yeah, like I don't get it. It's if Cracked or Now This or Sci-Fi wanted to get into this market, you have an email address, Benny. Like we all have email. Like just reach out and be like, how do you fucking make a YouTube channel work?
That's what I don't understand. And I have been like, DC reaches out. I don't get paid shit.
No,
But I just like helping.
right? Yeah, well, like DC's in the same boat where they're like, here's a video, and it's like, what was that? Like, what are you doing?
Okay, we're gonna go back to Deadpool, but I want to say real quick, because Longtar's like, is Deadpool over? Longtar, how long have you been watching this goddamn show?
Right?
Have we ever stayed on one topic?
Yeah. Come on.
You're watching 4 guys, 3 of which are here today, with massive ADD. Really?
We just talked about like Deadpool. Like, all right, we'll get back to it, but like we.
Well, okay. So, do you guys know how they did the X-Men cameo in Deadpool?
I assume it was green screen.
Yeah, they just took the footage.
Yeah, they had the guy in the Dark Phoenix film it.
Oh, really?
So he filmed it on the set of Phoenix. So that makes me
Interesting.
wonder, if everyone was on the set and he filmed it, what was Deadpool doing for their cameo?
I was in it.
That would be nice.
That
would be nice.
Because I gotta tell you, man, that only made things more confusing. Like, so wait, the young X-Men are the X-Men in the Deadpool continuity?
Yeah.
But they're young 20 years ago. They were born in the 50s. What?
Yeah, how are they still wearing their Rush shirts in their 80s fashion
what is
in
happening?
2018?
But the reality is, it doesn't, like, nobody at Fox gives a shit about continuity at all.
No.
You mean you have two Asian mutant characters named Yukio in the Wolverine and Deadpool 2?
And they're totally different.
They're different characters and they have different powers?
Yep.
Hold on, we're going to keep this up in a second, but 2 seconds. Long term, that's bullshit, because you even said Rob's not here to tangent.
Yeah.
I was reading your chat.
Can't
You watch the show every week.
Yeah. But then there's there's two Juggernauts. They don't reconcile those. There's two Deadpools. There's two Wolverine origins.
No. So here's the best part. So that end credit scene, they've gone on record. It's all in canon.
Yep.
It's all in canon until Disney dismantles it all.
Well, yeah. For now, it's all in canon. And apparently the original ending was Wade going back in time to kill Hitler.
Yeah, kill baby Hitler, because they set that joke up early in the movie. It's like, you have time travel, Cable. Would you kill baby Hitler?
Right. Oh, that's too bad they didn't do that. You have time.
Apparently it was too dark. Apparently test audiences didn't like Deadpool gunning down a baby. It's like, but it's baby Hitler. Come on.
Though. Oh, wow.
Come on.
That's funny.
So they brought back Vanessa. Vanessa is 100% going to be just around.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Well, I do, because I love how they handled it, because they basically were able to kill her in the opening, have an entire movie that deals with that, but hey, we can bring her back.
They had their cake and ate it too, which makes sense, because it's like, look, that kind of undercuts the first Deadpool, where it was all about the romance and getting them together and everything. It sucked to kill her, but they did it in the best way. It served as like the big James Bond opening credit joke of like, did they really do that?
Yeah, no, that was great. I mean, did anybody not see them killing Vanessa off when, like...
Oh, no,
I was like, yeah, they're going to kill Vanessa, because...
They had to.
The whole first movie was about him being with her. Now he is with her. Yeah. How will they...
Well, the only other thing I saw them doing was making her into Copycat.
Right. Which I was like, when are they going to make her Copycat? Maybe next one. I don't know.
Well, they said that's why they brought her back. They want to go the Copycat route.
Good, because she's cool.
Yeah.
Now,
let her hang out.
Yeah, because Morena Baccarin's a cool character or an actor who deserves to be like in superhero movies.
Indeed.
But yeah, so the canon stuff, it's great. I'm thrilled. So I would like a version of X-Men Origins Wolverine, just the whole movie where I'm watching the movie and then Deadpool shows up and kills Deadpool and then goes like, no, and then the movie's like just over.
The ending it deserved.
Go in line with that. The scene that he went back and changed. Do you guys remember the rumor that there was an actual Wolverine Origins ending where a real Deadpool showed up?
Supposedly there were multiple endings.
Yeah, I'd heard that too. Yeah.
I looked into it. It's an urban legend. There was only ever 2. Damn. So we all believed, or the urban legend, that there was a Deadpool ending with Deadpool.
Right.
That sounds right.
Also, T, you want to talk about more funny continuity stuff? Deadpool opens up making fun of Logan for getting such a fun, sad death at the end of Logan. It's like, wait, but isn't that the far future? And isn't that another universe? You know what? It doesn't matter. It's a funny joke.
Yeah. Plus, you get the same scene, and they play the music that Logan died to when you die. Also, he gets the X-Force costume.
Yes, he does. For a minute, it gets covered in soot, and it looks like X-Force. I like it.
That was cool.
Dude, I saw that, and I'm like, did he change costumes?
Right? I'm like, this is cool. All right, nice job.
I appreciate, too, all the stuff with Cable, where it's like, man, his origin is really convoluted and really difficult. How are they going to deal with it? Oh, by not explaining any of it? Excellent idea. I love it.
I did. I'm from the future.
He's a pissed-off super soldier from the future. He might not even be a mutant. Do they say he's a mutant? He calls his gun...
Nothing.
No, he calls his gun back, but I assume that was just like, future tech, not like, I have telekinesis.
It's just future tech. No, there's nothing.
And that's fine.
Yeah. I missed Cable. Like, I wanted, like, why not just make it Kid Apocalypse?
I felt like in later scripts it was supposed to. It was
the X-Force Kid Apocalypse thing. It was Deadpool wants to die from the end of a Daniel Way run. And it was Deadpool and Cable. That's what that movie was. An amalgamation of those 3 plots.
But we really like the kid from Hunt for the Wilder People so much to the point he's literally just playing himself from Hunt for the Wilder People. He even reuses some of the same dialogue. He talks about Tupac and being a gangster. His arc is even the same of trying to get some guy who doesn't really like him to like him.
Oh, really? That sucks.
Yes,
because like
it's exactly that.
I found him really like distracting and annoying, and like
I found him annoying.
he was supposed to. He's the MacGuffin, and I get that like the movie was about circumventing expectations in a fun way, and so it's like normally if the kid is a savior of humanity, you have to like the kid. Or I'm sorry, not the savior, like the destroying, like he's gonna wreck humanity. We don't want him to die, so we'll make him like likable. It's sad that he dies, but like, he's just an asshole who's asking for it every fucking time. Like
it's because he literally walked in from another movie. Is the thing
that's really weak.
And in a Taika Waititi movie, it makes sense.
Thank you so much, Red Robot, for that subscription.
Yeah, that's weak.
What bothered me about the Kid Apocalypse not being the kid is he was very easy to explain and not even fully explain, since there is a whole other movie about him.
Right.
You could easily be like, hey, this kid is going to turn into Apocalypse. Oh, you mean that weird guy from the other movie? Yeah, he's the reincarnation. Oh, so he's going to turn into a big baddie.
Right.
Yes, that's it. That's all you have to do.
And
yeah, but why would we want to pitch our ship to something shitty like X-Men Apocalypse?
well, because then you have the opportunity to redeem Apocalypse.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Except you're not going to be making any Apocalypse movies because it's over.
No.
So,
yeah, because it's all done. So you might as well have had a weird, obscure Fire Fist character. Plus, his name is funny. You get to make a funny name joke.
yes. Even though there is a Fire Fist, but like, who cares? It's just he's from the binder of a million mutants that nobody gives a shit about.
Red Robot wants to know if Deadpool mentioning Angel meant that he was hinting at Archangel and X-Force. I thought Pigeon Wings was him hinting at Archangel.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Can we say as little time as she had, I love Domino. I thought that was amazing, the way she did that character.
She was really good.
She was great.
Yeah.
I like how they show her powers being like, hey, what if Final Destination worked in your favor?
Yeah.
It was, you know what I loved about it, though? I've never understood her powers. And they showed it in there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, luck-based. It's like Scarlet Witch. You're like, hex-based powers.
Yeah. Chaos
Whatever
magic.
that means, she can kill all the mutants. That's all I know.
Yeah. No, I love that. Domino, Zazzy something.
Yeah. Beats.
Zazzy Beats. She plays a really fun character. She takes no shit from Deadpool, but she's also not like an unwilling participant in the action. She's not like, why am I in this movie? Why am I dealing with Deadpool? No, she's like entertained by him a little bit. She's fun. She was cool. They did something interesting with her. I remember all the bullshit about her. I remember them all the fanboys being like, "Oh, she's not black. That sucks." All shut up after she came out because she was great. And it was like, thank you. Because, I dug the hell out of Domino. I thought she did a really nice job. Also, like, hey, despite Deadpool's protesting, I know that the joke is this, but, like, her powers are very cinematic. And that was
Yes, they really are.
Yeah.
I was worried, though, that she was going to die anyway, because, like, everybody does.
Well, I love Shatterstar, by the way.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man. I laughed so hard at Mojo World. I was the only one in my theater laughing.
I did too.
What? And they're like, what's wrong with that man, Mommy? Why does he get such a kick out of Mojo World? You don't understand. Alien reality show big fat guy in a thing.
Yeah,
No.
I can't believe they referenced Mojo World. I'm like, right on.
I love how the Deadpool movies don't seem to be afraid to just reference where they're from.
Yeah, straight up. No, he's an alien from the Mojo-verse. Like, we're doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, at no point in Deadpool I was like, oh man, I wish they would have just referenced whatever,
Juggernaut. The fact that Juggernaut says in like conversation with Fire Fist is like, yeah, no, my brother is the mutant savior of humanity. He's in a wheelchair, so I guess I'm winning. Like, you
Psychic,
straight up
made
him into Professor X's stepbrother.
Yeah.
And,
amazing.
Like, and they also don't call him a mutant, so like, I guess he's got the crystal of Cyttorak inside of him.
None of the other movies did it. They rescued Colossus as a character in the first Deadpool, and they rescued Juggernaut here as a character.
Because I was gonna say it could have been easy enough for them to just make it Omega Red.
Okay.
I thought it was.
Please comment how amazing Juggernaut's theme song was.
It was pretty good.
Did you catch what was going on during his theme song, Joel?
No, what was happening?
Okay, so it was the choir one. It was like, the words were though, you can't stop Juggernaut, and then the chorus was just, holy shit balls, shitballs.
That was amazing. Yeah, if you stay to the end credits, like they just play the Juggernaut music, so you can just hear it, and it's great.
We were sitting in the theater, and they were playing that epic music, and I was getting into the fight, and I'm just sitting there like, they just say holy shitballs?
Yeah.
And I look over at Rob, I'm like, they're saying holy shitballs. And I look over at Dan on the other side, I'm like, it's Juggernaut theme songs, holy shitballs.
Yeah.
Can't stop them. I was surprised they didn't make a Vinnie Jones joke, because you figure if any movie would do it, it would be this one. I guess even Deadpool hates X-Men 3.
You know what I got from that? I got this thing because like all the like fuck you, I'm gonna change this or end it references are tied in with the people who are making this movie. So it's like it's a Ryan Reynolds joke, really.
Yeah.
Like, we're not making fun of like Hugh Jackman. We're not making fun of the director of X-Men Origins Wolverine. He didn't go back to the opening sequence of X-Men Origins and shoot that horrible kid who can't act who played Wolverine in that in the red robe. Like it's only him killing Ryan Reynolds. So like he's just making like they're not taking the piss out of like they're not saying X-Men 3 sucks. They're just being like we're doing this though. Like
he didn't pistol whip Brett Ratner, although I think he should have.
Right, like they don't make fun of Brett Ratner, they don't make fun of Angel, they don't make fun of like all these things that like people objectively said were bad about X-Men 3 or Days of Future Past even, or like other movies that are in the X-Men like stable, but they're just like we're having a good time. Like the only people who actually got upset were Warner Brothers. Apparently.
Yeah.
Reportedly like Warner Brothers did not approve of or appreciate any of the references made about the DC universe, about Green Lantern, or have him saying Batman. And,
yes, well,
which I'm
that's why you're getting made fun of.
I'm like, gee whiz, you don't have a sense of humor. Hard to believe.
Nice to know. It's nice to know that it's just not your movies that don't have a sense of humor. You don't
we
either.
Already knew that.
Yeah.
Like, but like, it's nice that like, no, we're part of this one company. Like, we make these movies. Like, just because it didn't work out doesn't mean that like the people who made them weren't like good people who just wanted to try to make the best movie they could. Those movies were bad, and they should feel bad. X-Men 3 is a piece of shit movie, but
yeah, it is.
Like, I appreciate that. Like, I appreciate that the humor, superficially looked like it was like deep hitting, like deep cutting, and like and angry was actually kind of like just like gentle ribbing, like just having a good time.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, for those guys wondering, there was no after credits. After credits played that song again, so you could hear it without all the sound effects going on for the fight. And the only bonus scene was the mid credits scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We stayed because I read a thing, and I didn't want to spoil myself about what it was, and then it was like it's a song, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Well.
Can we? No, again, we mentioned the Juggernaut there. Can we talk about the other villains, the evil Essex boarding school for boys? How funny is it that it took this R-rated comedy to, in my mind, actually come closer to the sort of villains that X-Men fight all the time? A bunch of government-funded religious zealots who are basically telling kids to pray the mutant away. And it's the brother from Ray Donovan who plays the headmaster.
I loved that was the main villain, that it wasn't actually some... I loved the fact that it wasn't no apocalypse-level villain.
Yeah.
There was no... big baddie that's going to end the world and Deadpool has to save. Who's the villain in the first movie?
Francis.
Francis, right. There was nothing for him to go out and do.
No.
Like fight a guy. He built up a team to stop the kid from turning evil, and it was against the government.
Yeah. No, and by the way, like fun idea where
you killed Black Tom.
He did. If he had his shillelagh, Black Tom could have fought back.
Yeah. Where Deadpool's villain was basically an inverted Xavier school.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
People are saying that they should rewrite it so that it was Mr. Sinister, but I like that it wasn't anyone big.
Yeah.
Because that's like the core of what the X-Men are about.
Yeah.
It's like they're fighting society with claws.
Deadpool even says, we're a civil rights metaphor from the 60s.
Yeah.
He even runs like a sexual predator.
That's great.
The only couple big problems that I had with Deadpool 2, just we can end in the note of what we had problems with it was. One, I felt there was too many pop culture references this time. I felt like since that it was succeeded, they just kind of went crazy with it.
Yep.
I like it better when Deadpool has more character and less LOL memes. I felt this one went more toward the LOL memes version.
Sure did.
As opposed to the character version that they had in the first one.
Yeah.
I also felt the plot moved very quickly.
Yes.
Like we went from one location to the next location. Like we didn't really have much time to settle in on what was happening until like midway through.
Yeah, Act 2 kind of dragged a little bit. Like, it was... And I feel like it might have been because of test audiences, because I remember, like, the initial test audiences being like, this movie's a dumpster fire. And then...
That's right.
And then they fixed it, and they were like, oh, this movie's great. And I remember, like, thinking... Around, like, the midpoint of the movie, I'm like, yeah, we're kind of dragging a little bit. And...
You know what?
Yeah.
It's probably because there was like a whole X-Force movie in the middle they had to get done with. Or it's like, but we have this X-Force script, right? Let's just shove it in Deadpool 2. We're not going to make a 3 anyway. Let's just introduce them and then kill them for a laugh.
Yeah. Overall, like, I dug it, but I felt it was a little less focused than the first one.
Yeah.
And it's easier. I think it was easier to have fun in the first one because you don't know what to expect, and the adventure's very simple. There are a couple of ways that you can like lose the audience or yourself in the second one, where you're like, oh, well, I'm not really keen on the Fire Fist plot, or I'm not really keen on the X-Force joke, or I'm not really keen on the love like from the afterlife story arc, or I'm not really keen on like this Essex thing. Like there's a bunch of places where the movie could lose you, But with Deadpool 1, it's like, this is the plot. It's very simple, and it's just this thing. And if you're not on board, then you're not on board from the first minute. Like, so, you know, bye. But I liked it. It was still cool. It was still fun. It's still a good lesson for like studios. Like, you can still do this. You can still make these movies. These movies can reference themselves in like a non-continuity way or in an overt continuity way, and it doesn't lose the audience. Like, I remember whenever they were talking about like making references to superheroes or whatever in the proto cinematic universe world, when most superheroes existed in a vacuum, I remember seeing interviews with like directors and writers and stuff, and they were like, "Oh, we'll lose the audience. The audience doesn't know what's going on. They're worried. You know, they're going to have that Infinity War effect that Benny was worried about." And I'm like, the by and large, folk don't give a shit. Like, if it goes over their heads, it goes over their heads. But if you hit them with a joke or a cool reference, like immediately following that, they're fine. Like, as long as you have a movie there, no one's going to complain. But,
Absolutely.
So have fun with your movie, like they do in this movie. Like, he literally references like issues that Juggernaut appears in the comics, which is like cool for me. Maybe not cool for like the person who doesn't read comics at all and just wants a Deadpool tattoo. But you know what he didn't do? Bitch about it. Like,
absolutely.
So I think there's room for all of it.
I actually have a funny story about that. The guy behind me, when they were fixing the time machine at the end, the dude behind me who had a Deadpool tattoo and a Deadpool tank top was like, "Oh, is that going to be his teleporter? Is he going to teleport?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, Deadpool hasn't teleported in like 5 years in the Duggan run. You only played the video game, you fucking casual."
No, you know what? Here's the worst part about the teleportation belt. For the most part, it's from like 6 issues in the middle of a run. Like, the teleporting belt was only made popular by the video game for video game reasons. Deadpool didn't have that, guys. That was like a bit in the comics where he got it.
The teleporter's from like 1994.
I know, but you only know because you played the video game. Also, another mild complaint I had, I don't know if you guys felt this way too, the whole thing where it's like, Deadpool 1 was a love story, it was a romance story, and that was really true. This one, they're like, oh, it's a family movie, it's about making friends and finding family. Yeah, it kind of falls apart because it's like, Deadpool didn't have trouble making friends in the first one. He was friends with Al, he was friends with Weasel, he was friends with all of these other people. You're inventing his needing friends and needing a family thing when before it wasn't an issue.
Yes. Yeah, no, like they didn't need to say it's like when they were saying Shaun of the Dead. It's not a zombie movie; it's a romantic comedy. Like, you don't need to do that. Just say it's a Deadpool 2, and we'll still go see it. All right.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna bring the podcast to an end here. I got dinner cooking. I can smell it. It smells really good right now. I know if you were following our stream the last couple of days, you said we were going to be streaming some Final Fantasy this evening. That is not going to happen because Natalie is feeling. The medications have taken its toll tonight. She's not feeling up for doing a stream, and she was supposed to be here for Final Fantasy, so that will not be happening. But we will be live tomorrow with Elder Scrolls Online. We'll be doing giveaways. We'll be giving away copies of the game. So if you do want to come hang out with me, Dan, and Natalie, that will be tomorrow. As far as this podcast, it'll be back in 2 weeks. We'll probably be talking about whatever news has come out at that point. There is a comic book podcast on Sunday. We'll be on the front page of Twitch once again. I'm on the front page of Twitch on Sunday, guys. You guys just don't know it.
Oh, lucky you.
That's awesome.
Look. I'm not even joking. We are every Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Comicstorian Weekly. We review all the comic books that came out this week. You can catch us right here. And don't forget, you can catch Sal at Comic Pop Joel's at Caped Joel, and I'm at Comicstorian. You can also find me here on this Twitch. All the times are listed in the schedule, which is not public right now. So Wednesday, Thursday will be here, and Sunday. There you go.
Right on.
Alan Scott, everyone.
Bye-bye, everybody.